It does flip and change colors, but I like that red setting. All right, guys, now that we got the visuals out of the way, I don't know if you guys can see it any good on here, but light that shit up, Roy. I'm gonna light that thing up tomorrow. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Roy, and I'm back with another video. And today I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the steps that I took to add fiber optic cables to my C5 Corvette. I was going to do a DIY video, but I decided not to because it was just going to be too much of a hassle to try to hold the camera, and also it was just really hot, man. In this video, I'm going to share with you guys the steps that I took to install the fiber optic lighting on my dash. Before we get into that, I'm just gonna, for you guys who's new to the channel, I want to just do a quick walk around and show you the car that we're going to be working on. So yeah, let's get to it. Last time I did a walk around down here, I had the 20-inch wheels and they had that stupid poke on them. And we changed up a little bit. 22. And all right. Somebody asked me that tire size. 295, 25. And I lowered it in the rear, so kind of make it. I don't know. It took it. It took it whenever I hit dips, but every now and then you might hear it like rubbing up against the plastic or something like that, but it's not a crazy rub or nothing. I been thinking about doing 20s up front whenever I switch my rims up again. Just do something different. Yeah. Oh yeah, I see it look pretty good when she cleaned up. That's the goal. So tomorrow you guys will get to see the steps that I took to get this door done, and because I'm only going to repeat that progress on this door, that process on that door. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the steps that I took to get this door done on the passenger door, and also I'm gonna have to figure out how I can run it through the seams of the dash on this car, because it's not as simple as other cars. It's not really creases and crevices I can just stick it up in and make it work. So I'm actually going to get some good double-sided tape or either some silicone or something to make it stick, because in some places it's not really any creases you can jam it in and make it work. So yeah, we're gonna get that addressed tomorrow. Let me turn these lights off under the car. Yeah, so you can see the light a little better. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna address some of those issues, try to perfect it as much as possible and make it look as stock as possible. And when I take this top out to ride at night, things should look pretty good.
The next day.
All right, guys, it's the next day and your boy is out here trying to get her done. As you can see, I've already started laying this, and I think this is going to be the most difficult part of it because it's curvy, and I always cut a section out in order to make it flex and bend as I want it to go. It's real curvy under here, so yeah, it's gonna be probably the hardest part to get done. I've already got the other side done. I'm satisfied with how it turned out. If you look, let's see, if you look close enough, you can see where I use silicone on it. And the reason I went with silicone because the double-sided ain't sticking worth nothing, man. And it was stressing me out. So yeah, I use silicone to kind of hold it in place, because the silicone, it would get sticky enough. It would get sticky enough to hold it, but also because of its texture, its rubbery like texture, it'll be easy to peel off after it's dried. So once it's dry, I can actually just go back and peel off the little exposed silicone. And yeah, so I'm gonna try to finish it up, and then I'll let you guys check it out, and I'll give you a run through of what I had to do in certain spots to get her done, because I don't have nobody out here to help me to record and get her done. It's already kind of nerve-wracking. Be sure to be patient while doing this too if you're gonna do it yourself, because it's racking my nerves, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, I'll see y'all whenever I get her done.
2 hours later.
Alright, this is what it looked like after completely finishing up the install. There is some spots I'm gonna have to address later on, touch up, but for the most part, it's laying pretty good. I think it's gonna be pretty smooth whenever it get dark and I light her up, but yeah, we shall see.
Eventually.
I'll give y'all a quick POV footage. Oh. Get back with y'all when we touch down. Alright guys, we'll touch down at the spot. The reason why I came down here, I wanted you guys to check it out and see it as good as I see it with the naked eye. For some reason the camera ain't picking up as good as I wanted to at night, so pulled up at the car wash where I have enough light to show you guys why the display, and also you can see the car. Let's check it out. Passenger door. Move the keys out. Driver door. Still hadn't pulled that panel back off to delete that or to mask it, but I do want you guys to check it out. I think it looks pretty good. Y'all know how I rock it, man. Gotta have the edge somewhere. Get the underglow. Y'all check that out. This is like my car show setting here. Or my car meet setting. I think that looks good. Although it does flip and change colors, but I like that red setting. And it does light up all the way around, but I did have a I did have to unhook the ones in the back because the lighting it's kind of broken. I used like a spare strip that I had laying around. So I ordered some new lights, so I unhooked those and installed a new one. But yeah, you get the picture, man. That dash is hidden with that underglow. And it does make it seem more modern on the inside also.
The next day.
Alright guys, now that we got the visuals out of the way, let me explain the process. And when I explain this to you guys, keep in mind this is my first time doing this, period, and especially to a C5. And the reason why I say especially to a C5 is because the parts were, well, let me turn it around and explain. The reason why I say especially to a C5 is because the part that holds the fiber optic cable in, it needs to be jammed into something in order for it to, you know, hold everything in place. And on the C5, underneath the dash in place, there is no spot to jam like places like this in, and it's hard to get it to contour or lay with the edges as it should. So if you got some great double-sided or something to make it stick better, and this make it stick, the silicone that I was using, it make it stick pretty good, but you have to hold it in place forever because it dries slowly. And I didn't want to use nothing that's more permanent, you know. If I had to, I can get this stuff off. I can pull it out and peel off the residue or the traces of the silicone. But this is a step I took. I could have used better product, I guess, for this application. But I would recommend some really good double-sided tape. Now looking at it, that's probably the worst spot under here, under the dash, which is a spot that I don't mind because, as you can see, normally you can't even see it. And I have my wheel tilted up higher than it usually is. So it's normally about here. So, yeah. But for the most part, the doors are very straightforward and simple. Except for on the curved places. If you've done this before, let me get a piece out. If you've done this before, you know, like on the edge right here where it curves around, if you've done this before, you know this stuff, it'll go like this fine, but it don't bend. It don't bend like that at all because the part that's normally jammed into crevices, it won't let it bend in that angle very well. So what I was doing was I took a razor and I cut just outside of the tube on the parts that curve. Let me get in closer. On the part that curves, I cut just along that tube there. This is a tube where your fiber optic cable is going to run in. So on the curved parts, I cut the little flap out that's normally jammed into crevices, and then I just used it on the straight pieces. So in this area, on the curve where I have to curve inward and go around, I cut that whole little section out in the curve only. But when it's straightened back out, I leave it there so it can jam into the crevices. So in the curves, there's none of this flap here. That's deleted. That's the only way I could get it to lay pretty good. So Other than that, it wasn't too bad. Like I said, just finding something strong enough to make it stick and hold into places. Like even in my doors, I didn't apply too much silicone or double-sided tape because the silicone can be a little bit messy. But I recommend that if you do use some type of silicone, use something that's clear. So if it does get a little residue, you won't hardly see it. I use the black. So like I say, you learn from your mistakes, or you learn from the your first go around, the trial run or whatever. But yeah, I would recommend using some type of clear silicone. Don't go heavy with it because you won't need that much. Once it's in place and it dry, it's gonna stay there. Yeah, don't try to go heavy at all. And another thing is, like, whenever you apply the silicone somewhere and you get a spot like that which is dried, if you just take your nail or something like that and just go along it while it's wet and clean it up as much as possible, it'll come right off and it looks 100 times neater and better, and that's less work that you have to do. You're done. So yeah, I mean, it's small little things, you know. I was going to try to vlog the whole installation. Not bad. I was going to try to vlog the whole installation, but I couldn't find my tripod, and I didn't have nobody to hold the camera, and it was 100+ degrees, and I was frustrated from the heat, and I really couldn't do it with one hand anyway. So either way it go, you know, I said I'll just go ahead and get it done, give you guys an idea of how it would look on a C5 Corvette, because that's the main part. I mean, it's been done on several cars, and I'm sure people have done it to a C5, and I'm sure I'm not the first one to do it to a C5, but either way, in case you hadn't seen it, I was wanting to let you guys check that out. And the main thing for me, I knew it would look decent at night because you can't see the panels, but the part that I was more concerned about is how would it look in the daytime. And it's not bad in the daytime. I mean, if you get in here and you never been in my car, or you didn't know I installed this or anything, I don't even think you would notice it if it's daytime. Because look, we cruising. You sitting over there, you're not thinking about that. You're not even looking at that. Unless you just like a car freak and you like me, you get in people's cars and you just be checking out upgrades, and you be like, oh yeah, you had it, blah, blah, blah. You know, so yeah. It's no big deal. I have one light left, which I have going under the dash. And excuse the car is 50. I've been in it, it's rained and all that, so I have to clean the car up again. But another thing, I have one of the cables left. I have one of the cables from the lighting for the fiber optic light, and I just stick it under the dash for like an underglow, under the dash glow. But I think I'm gonna move it and actually use it, and I'm thinking about trimming this and putting one in there. I don't know, or maybe not, because looking at it, it doesn't have anywhere to lay too great, I don't think. And if I ever have to pull my console out, it might be just a headache to do. So, and another thing too, why I thought about this center console, when I apply it in areas like this on the C5, always do it to something that's more stationary. So if you're gonna put double-sided tape, stick it to this. Don't try to stick it to the this bezel, because all this can snap off if you have to access your your radio for any reason or anything else. So always, like on the dash over here on this side, always stick it up to the dash because it's not going nowhere. You don't want to stick it in the glove box, so you can open your glove and it'll stay stationary. Just think about things like that as you're doing it. And other than that, I hope this video was helpful in some kind of way, and I'm sure you'll see some flaws in mine because I see them, but I'm cool with them. I'm gonna address them later to tidy it up a little bit more, but hopefully yours come out better than mine did. But the main part of it is just giving you an idea of whether you wanted to try this or not, or you think it's worth the hassle or getting it done. Maybe you don't want to do it. Maybe you want to send it to a shop and have them to do it. But just giving you an idea how it can upgrade the look of your C5 at night. And it's going to really stand out at car meets and things like that. So, you know, I go to a lot of car meets and car shows and little stuff like that. You know, get a lot of questions and get a lot of attention. And anytime I can bring attention to me and my channel, because I have a very small channel and I'm trying to grow it. And so anytime I can bring attention to me and my channel, and also share ideas with people who have the same car or even other cars. And you know, you can see a Mustang and see something you might want to add to your Corvette or to your Camaro or whatever you own. Either way, I like talking to car guys, getting ideas, and you know, just chopping it up. But anyway, if you find this video helpful in any kind of way, drop a like, drop a comment, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and see you when I see you. Peace. Now tell them to like, comment, and subscribe.
Like,
Comment,
subscribe. Subscribe. Man, got that for 1 more 5 on it.